Alright, I think we are live. I think we are live. Let's see if all is well. Whoa. Oh, got the notification. Alright. Oh, got the notification. I think this needs to be a little lower. Hopefully there's no mic difficulties today. Be using this today as the streaming background music. It's all a learning process for me, guys. Appreciate you all for being here. Oh god, that's gotta be echoing horribly for you guys. Just realized. Alright, so we're getting warmed up. Things are looking better and better. Today was a pretty good day for GME. Can't complain. And check some super stock. Just look up GME on the chart. Alright, past 5 days. Pretty much just up. That's like the ugliest chart ever, but I think the Yahoo Finance. So we'll read some headlines too. I'm sure there's gonna be some spicy stuff in there. But only 5 million shares traded today. Only 5 million traded. Crazy. 5.2. Which is just about their average, but like what's crazy is like it makes such a big move and so much of the volume comes in like at the end of the day here, and it's just like, why? You know, you just, I don't know, just so many interesting collective things consistently just go on with GameStop. I mean, it's just the truth. Deep Value Investing, it calls me paid dear shill. Thank you for being here, Deep Value Investing. Too long, TRS. Yo, Xbit, thank you for being here. Eric, thank you for being here. They have headsets on weekly deals. Yo, it's today's the day. But look what I brought for you guys to show you. I literally have one. This is why it's so annoying. Like, look at this. I literally have it, but it broke, and I've been trying to find the other piece. So, like, at least I could permanently put it in, but, like, it was fidgeting, then it's gonna... I'm a clown. Then I have these, right? These are Bluetooth, but for some reason, they need a pin to connect to this laptop, which just makes literally no sense to me. So that's how things are going. But I really feel like today's the day. The thing is, I just don't want to, like, get a headset that's not good. So that's why I'm hesitant, because I'm like, I don't know what's a good one. I feel like I have to do research, and, like, every time I start looking, there's, like, a zillion options, and I don't know if you have any recommendations. I'm definitely curious. See, literally, JBL headphones asking for a pin. I was trying to look it up before this. Yeah. No, I'm really about to get, because I'm listening to this on here, like, it's starting to drive me nuts. I'm going to have to do something. I'm going to have to, at least, there's a little headphone jack. If I at least had the iPhone ones, like, with the speaker, I don't even have that, only, like, headphones, so, like, the mic would just be out loud. I might have one other headset I might have to look for, if this one's just so bad, the whole stream. Damn, alright. Yeah, no, I really got to get a solid setup too. That's also a big obstacle right now. Let's see this. What is this? 10 strategies for naked short plan. Green. Current supersonic vibe. Everyone's just getting hyped about GameStop. Nobody cares about Baba. Counselor with the shout out. Nice. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. And also, I'm going to show you guys a little bit later here. I love this website, Macro Trends. I think it's pretty underrated. It's definitely worth looking into. They have a lot of different stats here just about the company's historics, right? So if you look at GameStop shares outstanding, this is since 2010. You can see they bought back a lot of stock. They weren't for a long time where things were kind of starting to go really downhill. They stopped buying back stock. Then Ryan Cohen came in, or sorry, before Ryan Cohen came in, Michael Burry came in and wrote up letters to the board and was like, hey, you guys should buy back a bunch of stock because your company is beat down in value and there's tons of short sellers right now. And that's where this big drop off was right here. And then this slight jump up was Ryan Cohen issuing shares at GameStop's peak or near its peak, right? In the high 200s pre-stock dividend. So that's probably like around 50 or 60 a share. And he didn't issue that many because, as you can see, this jump in share count is not that much. There's still a general low amount of shares due to, or comparatively to previous years. So having said that, there's still less shares outstanding overall, but they, at the time, issued shares simply to raise capital, right? To invest in the business and just allow them to have a good balance sheet and do some of the things they're trying to do now in terms of moving into Web3. Let's see. You can't trade my 6,000 GME options on ComputerShare. I'm up $500 per contract from $15 price to $22 today. Deep value investing, I'm happy for you. I really am happy for you. If you're nice like that with options, like, respect to you. Like, I can't trade options like that. So that's just not for me. As for me, like, I just like investing in the stock and just registering it in my name because I just want to withdraw it from the DTC. If you're actively trading, you probably shouldn't have DRS. Honestly, it's probably not best for you. Do what's best for you as an individual. So yeah, it's as simple as that, but happy for you. But for me, I'm good. Cosmo Lodge. My shares are priceless and in my name. That is true. What kind of expirations you working with, big dog? Yeah, deep value investing. What expirations are you working with? I am curious, since you do talk a lot about options on my channel. I mean, listen, it's not a bad thing. I'm just like not that good with them, and like I've messed with them a little bit. And honestly, how I got started with all this was options, but over time I realized like if you're not really familiar with them, you can get lucky here and there. But if you're not like familiar, you're gonna get burned, right? And how I personally feel is that I'm not familiar, so I'm not trying to get burned, right? But options, you know, are interesting, and I am gonna show you a little bit today, right? We have some interesting data here in terms of the options, but trading them myself, I don't know if I want to do that, you know. Also, I'm going to quickly go ahead and tweet this out here. Alright, gotta get the audience out here. Just text it to the group chat to the boys. Alright. But yeah, look at all these options this week. It's definitely a spicy week, right? I didn't realize that's what that said. Alright, gotta send to a few more people. Hope everyone's having a good night out there and a good day. Excuse me. All is well. Just sharing this to one more spot. I'm just like so bad. For someone my age, you would think I'd be good at technology and like I feel like I'm good at finding information, but just like navigating simple stuff, like literally like texting a link. Like I don't know, I just feel like I get so like silly, like I just like mess it up somehow. It's crazy. But, you know, it's learning experiences, guys. It's all about learning and just taking things day by day. But But damn, I just can't believe it's like the middle of January. Like 2023 just started, and now we're already like 3 weeks in out here. Like just like nothing, like in a heartbeat. All right, let's see. What do we have in the chat? I love options. Keith Gill trades options mostly. Is Alibaba a distraction as well as BBY and AMC? Hi, all GME fans. Well, first of all, deep value investing. Keith Gill did trade options, right? But then he like actually exercised them and then got shares, right? And we haven't really heard from him since, so it's hard to say. And then Mahari Madden, is Alibaba a distraction as well as BBBY and AMC? So I think Baba, it's put out there at an interesting time. There's definitely something to say there in terms of that, where it's like, if he was building stake in 2022, why did that information just come out yesterday, right? Just weird timing and like sources familiar with the matter, right? And as we've seen historically, those are, just random like people, just who is it? Sources, you know what I mean? Like, so I think it's a little bit of noise. And in terms of AMC, I've always thought it's noise. I just think it's not a good company. Marantz talks about it a lot, and I think he reveals a lot of truth, and a lot of people don't want to hear it, but it's a lot of facts. A lot of shady things go on over there with AMC. And with Bed Bath & Beyond, I honestly think there's some shady things going on around there. I think it's like a hot potato right now. You could trade it, right? There's definitely opportunity to. There's definitely people out there making money with it. But I would say, like, tread lightly, because, I don't know, it's not that well of a run company, right? I mean, they've changed some things up with their board, and maybe they are getting better well run, but they're still losing tons of money. They have a really bad balance sheet. We're in a rising interest rate environment. We just passed the holiday season. Like, I don't know, I wouldn't want to be in Bed Bath long term. That's just me personally. Do what you want as an individual in the long term, but I think there's definitely a short-term trade there. But me personally, I'm not really touching it. Like, it's just dangerous. It's a hot potato. I played it last time. I'm just not playing it this time, because I just like, I don't know, it's just like a weird uncertainty I have right now. Options the only thing I can trade because I have ADD. I can't trade stocks. Oh, I gotta set this up here on the side. Gotta get a better system for the live chat as well. Alright. Hey, what price target will we have this run? Any mention of the return of DF Value? Will be 2 years since his appearance in live video stream. Honestly, I don't think DFV is going to come back. I really think it's an unpopular opinion, but like, and his brother going unprivate, it's interesting, right? I forgot his name. I would pull it up on Instagram right here. But the thing is, like, I don't know. I just feel like the fact they literally subpoenaed him, right? He literally had to talk to the Supreme Court. Do you think he wants to come out here and talk about GameStop again if it really is truly like an ideosonic risk, or like that this massive of a problem? Why would he want to come out and talk, right? So I honestly think he's probably not gonna, but I mean, it'd be amazing if he did. It'd be epic, but like, I don't know. And in terms of price target, I like how DFV put it, just up. Like, in terms of the price, it's just going to go up. If you believe in the long term, you're going to continue to keep up what the company's doing with the popcorn. Yeah, honestly, I don't like AMC, just like kind of was saying before, some of the things going on there. That's good because I have puts on Alibaba. Honestly, I'm indifferent about Alibaba. Like, I just really am suspicious of like reporting out of China and just everything that goes on over there. So like, I don't know if I would invest in Alibaba for that reason mostly. But like, I think a lot of people shop there. It's a huge international company. Like, they do a lot beyond like actually their Amazon type of thing, right? They also are like Amazon and Sense, where they do a lot with the cloud business. So it's interesting. And also in the filing, or in the Wall Street Journal article, right, with sources familiar with the matter, basically there was a line in there that I thought was interesting that was like, Ryan Cohen wants to, hold the stock and have a long-term relationship with the company. So it's like, in some way, I mean, is GameStop have some ties? I don't think they're going to partner with Alibaba or anything like that. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying, like, is he getting some knowledge from them, or like, what is it? But also, in terms of what he recommended to Alibaba with buying back shares, I think that's something GameStop will do down the line if this kind of thing continues and the company becomes profitable. They start stacking their balance sheet with cash. Why not buy back stock if it's undervalued, right? And that would just be another amazing bullish thing in itself. So I think that really could come in the long term if things are a certain type of way for GameStop. And I think that's not anywhere on the horizon in the short term, but I think that's more of a long term type of thing. All right, let's see. I'm calling shenanigans. I don't think Ryan Cohen invested in Baba. You know, Morgan, first of all, thank you for being here. And second of all, you might be right. He might not even be invested in it at all. And like, they're just spinning like his tweets about China, right? Or references to China in some way as, oh yeah, you know, now you guys all just think it's Alibaba, right? It's he invested in Alibaba, but like low key, he's maybe having some other subtle message there, right? And then they tried to spin the subtle message in some other way, right, with the media. So I don't know. That's definitely possible, and it's a good point, Morgan. Full Keith Gill portfolio on my YouTube channel. All right, I mean, good for you, Deep Value. Deep Value investing. If it's going well for you, best of luck to you. Hope you keep doing well. I don't want to see anybody lose money out here. I think everybody should, do what's best for them. I'll mess around and make a small trade here or there, but like what I'm trading personally, relative to what I own in GameStop, or just like what I'm putting into like my 401k, just a straight up S&P 500, right? That's all I'm doing right now as a young individual. These small trades don't really matter to me, so like I can mess around here and there. But right now, I'm just kind of happy with how GameStop is, because I was buying the dip a lot, and I'm seeing things kind of go back up. So I'm like, all right, I want to go back to kind of saving money and just putting money towards other things I want to do in my life, etc. Is Wall Street Journal legally allowed to just lie like that? That's a good question. I think probably no, but I think there's really no way to prove that, or no way to be like, yeah, they were. Oh yeah, they're doing this. Like they could just say, oh well, the sources familiar weren't as familiar as we originally thought, or like I don't know. They could just come with any like BS reason. I honestly feel like. A channel I'll never bother to look for. Tell companies trash. What's up, Tetron? LOL. So let's see. Well, I'll process on January 28th when there will be weekend watching the Super Bowl. LMAO. Danzo, I didn't even really read into that. I saw the headlines about like the protests and whatever, but like what? I don't know. If it's the same time as Super Bowl, I'm gonna be watching the Super Bowl. And honestly, the whole like, I hate the whole like. I'm just gonna say like the us against them. It's like yes, there's some shady, corrupt things going on underlying with all of this. I absolutely believe that, and that's just my personal opinion. But I'm not like trying to be up in arms with everybody like, yeah, this channel is all about getting everybody to get back at them, like so that's why it's like all those type of things. I'm like, ugh, just buy and hold the stock and shock GameStop, like if you believe in that, right? And just over time let the company operate, let Ryan Cohen and friends do their work, and just own the stock, right? I mean, submit your proposals right to the SEC, make some noise where you can, but I don't think like getting up in arms and like marching in the streets is like going to do anything. I'm sure Alibaba is good if Ryan Cohen bought it. Things that happened in August, and we're talking about it now, and the RSI is off the charts and at the top overvalued. XBit, it's possible, he's probably just going to hold it, or like I think it's possible it's going to decline a lot in value, especially now that it came out that he owns it. Whether he actually does or not, just the fact that it's coming out that he owns it, I bet the stock price is going to get beaten down in some way. And we'll pull it up here real quick. But honestly, like, yeah, it did bounce off a lot, I think, when I took a look. Yeah, its 52-week low is 58. It's really doubled since then, right? It's actually kind of near its 52-week range. But Alibaba is one of those weird stocks where it was kind of falling before the rest of the market. So, like, while the rest of the market kept tanking, it was kind of like, all right, like, it's already been bottoming for, like, quite a while here. So I think that's kind of why we've seen this run here. And if Ryan Cohen was buying in the back half of 2022, that's, for anywhere between here and here. So he probably got a decent entry, I would imagine, in this range. So he's probably doing all right. But yeah, I think you're right, XBit. It probably will decline. BBBY is going bankrupt. That means you listed. That means shorts never have to close. It's a good point, Morgan, because if you look back at the seller boxing DD, that's really what it's about, and kind of what Mark Cuban originally commented on the Wall Street Bets Ask Me Anything thread. It's like the goal is to never cover the shorts, and it makes sense because it's like, why do you see like, what is it, Blockbuster? I don't even know. It's like Blockbuster pink sheet stock. And honestly, Morgan, yeah, it might go bankrupt. It's like, it's going to be tough, especially in this like rising interest rate environment. If this is a couple of years ago, I think things are a lot different. Just the state of the market's different. Interest rates aren't massively higher and going up, so I don't know. It's going to be tough for them to survive. But I do want to see this. Oh yeah, BL. That's interesting. I wrote an article about it, actually. We want to buy Baba. This is not the bottom. Yeah, no, I agree, XBit. If you wanted to be in Baba long term, anybody watching, I feel like, one, do a lot of due diligence out there. Make sure that's something you definitely want to do. Never just blindly follow someone, even if you love Ryan Cohen to death. Don't just be like blindly follow this guy. You got to have due diligence. You got to do your own research. You got to have your own knowledge, right? But I would agree, it's probably going to pull back. Just kind of the way the market is as a whole right now. What's your average share price? Honestly, it's really hard to say. It really is hard to say at this point for me. In terms of GameStop average share price, I would have to think my best guess, honestly, is like 25. If I had to guess, right? I mean, it's hard because I have it in various accounts. I have 2 different computer share accounts, one for an LLC and one for me as an individual. Although the LLC is just a single member LLC, so it's basically just me again. And then I have the only non-DRS shares I have are the shares in my IRAs. So I have a traditional IRA and then a Roth IRA with some shares. So I have 4 different accounts with shares. So I'd have to kind of like add it all together and figure out a cost basis. And computer share doesn't just give you a simple average, so hard to say. But if I had to estimate, it's around there. But I'm not selling anywhere in that range or any time in the near future, it seems. So chilling. Do you buy crypto? Actually, a little bit, right? An app I use called Strike, which I'll literally give you guys the link. Tell me if you want the link, because I'm not trying to like go out here advertising this, but if any of you want the link, tell me and I'll actually share it. But it's this app called Strike, and you can buy a Bitcoin every day. So what I do is every paycheck I get, I put $14 into this app because I get paid every other week. I deposit $14 and I have it set up right where every single day at noon I buy $1 Bitcoin, and it's on the Lightning Network, which basically means there's no fees. So every single day I'm buying $1 Bitcoin. That's $365 a year, and I honestly think Bitcoin will be worth a lot more in the future. I do believe Bitcoin has value in the long term. I've looked into it. I've played the run-ups in the past, and I personally do believe in it, but not to the point I'm going to go heavy, right? Like, I'm not like a massive believer in it in any way the way I am GameStop. Like, if you look at what I own in crypto relative to GameStop, it's like pretty laughable. Like, pretty much anything I own in my life, or in terms of asset-wise, right, relative to GameStop, is pretty laughable. But I do buy it like here and there in terms of like that $1 a day. And if it were to go down to like 10K, I would probably like buy and try and swing it over the next couple of years. Because I just think, it runs in cycles, and in the long term, we might need a store of value, and Bitcoin really might be a huge thing. And just owning a little bit can give you a lot of value in the long term. And what's $1 to me every day? You know what I mean? So like, if you guys wanted that, we each get $5, like just for you signing up, me for referring you. But literally, I don't care about that at all. Like, I don't need that. So if nobody wants it, I'm not going to just throw the link out here all over the place. You know what I mean? But also, I don't want to get too into Bitcoin. That's not like my main cup of tea. Like, I don't have that much knowledge, but that's why I don't invest heavy like that, because like, I don't know, like, I'm not a genius about it, like, I just understand it a little, or understand it enough where I feel comfortable, putting in what I can afford to lose. So Ryan Cohen buys a stock, but we don't find out till 6 months later when it's overvalued. LOL. That's a good point, XFit. It's just strange. We are nowhere near the bottom. I think you're right, Morgan. I think the market as a whole, definitely needs to fall a lot. And it's interesting, Bitcoin's moving these past few days. There's a quick little note I wanted to make there. So it's definitely interesting. Crypto on the move, right? It's during the same period, right? A little tinfoily hat, though. It's like crypto's on the move during the same period that GameStop is moving, right? Like, it's crazy. And yeah, like, I think the market is going to fall a lot more, right? When you zoom out, like, I don't know, it just seems like things can get a lot worse before they get a lot better. I bought GME at $140 and averaged down to 29. Nice. Oof. What's your average price of Bitcoin? Honestly, I don't even know, because that's really hard for me to say, because I have it in a little bit in the Strike app that I was talking about, right? And then I have like in another wallet, and then I have my GameStop wallet, which I have a little bit of Ethereum and a little bit of Loopring, which, by the way, the only 3 cryptos I own are Bitcoin, Ethereum, Loopring. Those are the only 3, right? So, and again, not a lot. So it's hard for me to say with Bitcoin, because also my strategy is kind of like trade in and out of it. So like, when there's a hype cycle, like, I'm not scared to take profits. I'm not worried about riding the top. Some of it I'm just kind of going to let it ride, but also still kind of like seeing how things go as crypto, and like I kind of adapt my strategy, and it's a small like thing I do, so it's not like massive. So it really couldn't ever burn me in any way. No, for me, it's still undervalued by infinite risk. Yes, Danza, I do believe Jimmy does have quite a bit of risk. This is the way. Mr. Christie, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. You've been loyal to the channel for a little while now. You're the man. Thank you. Keep stacking, Danza. You're doing great. Stable coins make more sense as a store of value. In terms of stable coins, I just have a hard time trusting them now because of everything that's happened, and everything that's kind of going on. So, like, I don't know. I just feel pretty uncertain about stable coins and this whole like certified U.S. dollar, like the certified like U.S. currency. I don't know. It just seems really shady too. How like they're gonna be able to just like control the money supply. Oh, we don't. You're saying something that's in disagreement with the government. We're just gonna freeze your money. Like that's crazy. And why does this stupid video keep playing? I hope I don't get what's it called here? Not demonetized, but I don't know. Copyright. I don't know. I think YouTube rules about copyright, I don't even understand them, to be honest with you. And like, I'm just, this world we live in, you do anything wrong, right? Like, I'm not that I'm like doing anything horrible by showing this video by mistake, but I don't want to get like a slap on the wrist, like, you can't be doing that, like, I don't want my channel to get in trouble. So I'm always paranoid. I don't even know if like you can have other videos be playing. Like, I assume like it's just Yahoo Finance, right? I don't know. Jamie's still only stock with negative beta. I mean, yeah, it tends to go up when the market goes down generally throughout this whole saga, right? Stock charts are logarithmic. You can never really look at a 10, 20-year chart since it always looks scary to purchase. That is a good point. Time for text. So yeah, that S&P chart I'm showing right here where it's looking like horrifying, that is a good point where it's kind of drawn on that logarithmic long-term scale. And it does look very dramatic when you're just looking at this little thing here. GME is also the only stock with 0 beta males. Mad funny, XBet. Alphas. But yeah, 17 people here right now. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you. But also we gotta check out the sound. I gotta make sure the sound is working good every once in a while. Just because of the nature of my setup. Damn. Thoughts on PLTR? So PLTR, I used to be in it more, but I just, over time, understanding what I understand now about GameStop and just seeing kind of the way things are going in the market as a whole, I just kind of started like taking down from my position. Like I never really had a massive position to begin with, but like I don't know. One, I saw Alex Karp kind of like having hissy fits like during interviews and like earnings calls. So I was kind of like, I don't know, that doesn't make me that certain. And I think their technology is interesting. But again, like what I'm kind of getting at is like what I see with GameStop and what I became to understand, I was like, why would I keep my money in this stock when I just believe in GameStop that much more and I see what's going on here? And that's why over time, I had a lot of other stocks when I really even started this channel, and just over time it's pretty much dwindled down to GameStop and DRS because I have something I believe in the long term, and I'll own like small pieces of things, and I have like the S&P, a little bit of Bitcoin, but things I believe in enough to hold. But again, not like massive investments in any way, right? These are all like small things, and like I don't even really talk on these things because I only like to talk on what I'm familiar with, and what I've become very familiar with is GameStop. Hence why I've gone so massively in investing in GameStop, because I just feel like it's something I understand and I just really have taken the time to dive into because it's just fascinating, right? The whole saga. I think a lot of people here now like probably didn't even expect to be here like all these years later, right? And for everything to become what it has and to just become so bullish on the company and just see how long this saga has been drawn out. And just an epic thing about it, right, is how there's so many different individuals, right? Some people who've been in stocks for a long time, people who came from the crypto world, people who've never invested in stocks in their whole life, right? Like everybody has their own reason and everybody kind of brings their own value, right? When talking on Twitter, talking to Superstonk, even in this chat right here, right? Like everyone has their own like walk of life, and you could be super far left and someone else in this chat right now could be super far right, and chances are you're probably still going to get along, like, because you're probably not going to talk about politics, right? That's not what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is like it's something where finally in this world, and that's what I think makes this so powerful, that people like put that aside, like, I don't care, like I completely disagree with this person, but we both just like GameStop, so let's just talk about GameStop right now, it's fine. And I think that's just low-key, like really incredibly powerful how
this movement, so to speak, has just brought so many different people from so many different walks of life, and it's taught me so much about investing, because I'm never going to invest in a company as massively as I am GameStop again until I become as knowledgeable as I have on GameStop. Until I do that at another stock, like, I'm not going to do that, right? So, like, I still have that little bit of Palantir from a long time ago, right? But again, it's so small, and it's just like an IRA, so, like, I don't even care, right? Like, I think it has some long-term potential, so I'll just let it ride. And anything that was pretty much to say not in my IRA at this point has become GameStop shares that are now DRS because I want them registered in my name. Having understood what Seed & Co. is, right? I say this in, like, pretty much every stream, but it's so important. And literally, Deep Value Investing, I don't know if you're still here, but he calls me the DRS shill. I'll take that nickname, right? But Seed & Co., like, understanding what it literally is the bank that owns the world, right? And when you just, like, understand that Seed & Co. is the DTC, and the DTC is the DTCC, and the DTCC is just a bunch of people from a bunch of the largest institutions, such as Citadel, right? Sitting on one board making decisions. So when you really learn what that is, it's hard to really trust having other stocks, right? And for that reason, any shares that are not in my IRA of other stocks, I liquidated over time and made them into GameStop shares. And that's just my personal decision. I'm not telling what other individuals should do, but I'm just sharing my personal experience. But yeah, let's see. Gensler with a nice shout out. So yeah, I mean, this stuff, like, right, like, when I see this, I really believe in, like, Dave Lawler and what he's doing, and I think he has really good intentions. But the sad thing is, like, this stuff doesn't happen overnight, and it's gonna continue to be, like, a long process, and little things will be done, but there's a gazillion thousand loopholes out there, right? As we've kind of seen with everything going on, and now we have tokenized shares still trading, all kinds of shady things and bizarre things to clean up, right? And there's even one article, or not article, like, piece of information out there, right, where it basically said it would take, like, the SEC, or it would take the equivalent of, like, literally 1 million hours to, like, sort out some data or comb out some data or something. And it's like, is the whole financial system that, like entwined and, like, tangled, right? So it's like, it's going to be so hard to create fair, equitable markets, right? So, like, market reform is nice, and I believe in it, and I do think we need it, and someone like Dave Lauer needs to be out there, like, pushing for this, right? And it needs to start somewhere. But what I'm saying is, like, it's going to be a long process, and it's just going to be tough. So I really do support Dave a lot and everything he's doing, and I give him a lot of credit. But, you know, I'm just saying it needs to be very hard, and, like, I don't think it's, you know, like, something to just, like, oh, well, okay, Dave's just fighting the good fight out here. All is going to be well. Like, it's not just that simple, you know. January 2023, such a wild day for the option exchange contracts. When looking at the amount for several stocks, wild day, GME included, what will happen? You think it's significant that we decouple from SPY? Big run coming, January run. Miguel, that's a good question. I think it might be, and that kind of piggybacks off of what Danzo's saying in terms of the options chain, right? Where it's like, it is just insane right now, like, what it's looking like. Like, where is it here? Options. And other stocks as well. It's interesting because, you know, it is a yearly strike. If you look at the options chain right now, the farthest strikes you can purchase would be January, maybe 20th again, January something, 2025, right? So if that's the case, then that's 2 years from now. What that means is, at the time of the famous sneeze, right, you have January 2021. The furthest options contracts at that point written were for January of 2023. So if they're written for January of 2023, that's right now, and that was 2 years ago. So you'd have to think the whole idea originally, right, was just kick the can on the road. There's no way these individuals are just going to like the stock all this time later, right, and just suddenly start directly registering their shares. So you would have to think a lot of interesting stuff happened with this options chain, right, considering the rules that are allowed with options, especially with market makers, right? So maybe. That's like my final answer, right? Because the reason I say maybe is it's hard to say because there's so much limited information reported out there, right? In the sense that it's like, we don't really ever know what is going on behind the scenes, right? When an option contract is written and then it's exercised and it's like, that's not all like very transparent, and it would be very difficult to make each transaction transparent. I'm not necessarily saying that, but what I am saying is, if there is some short interest written away into the contracts in some way or another that the option chain is being used, if there's a gazillion other loopholes, it could just be pushed down the line somewhere else, right? It could just be rolled over at some point, right? We've had a good price action in the last 5 days or so. Stock's up like maybe $5 or something like that. Okay, maybe during that time period, there's already been some rolling, right? Some kicking the can down the road to some other options chain, to some other obligation, some other due date, right? There's just so many complex things. That's the hardest thing to like just wrap your head around, like all the different ways that everything's becoming suppressed, right? Whether it's swaps, the options chains, ETFs, shares on loan and being returned, and ETF shares on loan, market makers taking ETFs, opening them up, shorting individual stocks, and going long on individual stocks within that ETF. It's just a lot, and it's just hard to say. Young Bull's getting excited. GME got momentum. Solid Nate, thank you for being here. Movier, thank you for being here. What up? Wanted your thoughts on one thing. I see CNBC along with other media outlets were highlighting Ryan Cohen buying Alibaba, but you think if they're truly afraid of GME, Ryan Cohen, why give him any spotlight at all? That is a great question, actually. I would think maybe, kind of now that you asked that question, it makes me think maybe he's about to do something or make some kind of move and they're getting wind of it, or they're just kind of anticipating it with the way like a lot of individuals have been, keeping an eye on what he's doing with Teddy. Some people are still saying he's going to do this and that with Bye Bye Baby. I'm not really so sure about that. And I think there's just a lot of different interesting things that he could be doing. And it does seem like, he's working in the shadows in some way. And that how GameStop operates is that at any given moment in time, they can just come out with something. Boom, this is what we're doing. Hey, surprise, we've been working on this for a couple months now, right? Just like the NFT marketplace. It's just like, okay, it's here. Okay, the wallet, it's here. Oh, the iOS wallet, it's here. So maybe they're just anticipating him about to do something in some way or make some kind of move with GameStop. So they're just trying to like draw the narrative, draw the headlines elsewhere in anticipation of him doing something. Whether that be them getting wind of him about to be doing something or just their paranoia because of like all the hype right now. I think that could have something to do with it, honestly. But it's just strange timing too. Is it also like, have they been just saving this bullet for like the right moment, and why is now the right moment? It might have something to do with the options contracts. Like it really could be, because like look at all this open interest. Like it's just crazy. Like all for this one single day. My clan camped Fafnir in FFXI for 8 years before I got a black belt in my monk. This is easy. Yeah, no, I mean, listen, it's only been 2 years. I mean, only, right? That sounds like, what? No, this has been mad long. When, you're anticipating something, it feels bad long. But really what this has taught me, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, is like, you got to look long term on stocks, right? You have to have a long term viewpoint, or you don't have to if you trade, right? But if you invest, right, and you believe in something for the long term, I personally really feel like you just have to understand the company and bet on it, right? And then just average into it, be greedy when others are fearful, and be fearful when others are greedy in terms of long-term investing, right? Because you have that long-term viewpoint, you see where the company's going in the long term, and you're just trying to get ahead of the market as a whole. And right now, I think that's just what's happened. A lot of individuals are just buying the stock as it goes down. It just shows that a lot of individuals just honestly like the stock. How many ways can we create liquidity? Let's see, shorting, options, bonds, futures, tokenized shares, dark pools, fractionalized shares. Did I miss any? Exactly, XBit, exactly. It's like, the list goes on and on and on, right? Like I could say like a million different things. Like it just keeps going. Sorry, one moment here. Just get one quick thing. Just fixing one quick thing. But Damn. Just can't believe how time flies. Like, I feel like I say that a lot now. And, like, that makes me think I'm kind of getting old. Like, I'm definitely not, but it just flies. And just, like, this saga just, it's become so interesting and just such a, like, big part about my life, honestly, in an interesting way, you know, where it's just, like, obviously I'm investing in it, so it's financially taking up energy of mine, I guess, so to speak. Obviously, like, I'm putting time into this channel, and obviously I'm putting time into research, and I watch, the other YouTubers too. Like, I watch Morant's, I try and watch Lightning and Richard Newton, hear what these other guys are saying, because they're pretty smart dudes, right? Especially Morant's, shout out to him, he's really put me on. A lot of you might even be here simply because of him. Like, he's really given me, like, not a platform, but, like, I don't know, he's just giving me, like, good energy, right? Good positivity, and, like, just said, hey, check out Tetron, and, like, I'm just literally some other random guy. He doesn't even know me. He didn't have to do that. So, shout out to you, Morantz. Appreciate you. I didn't even do what I was going to do. It's so hard to multitask. That's probably the hardest part about streaming. Like, videos, like, afterwards, I'm like, okay, I could put everything down and go back. But, like, if I have to check something, I'm like, what was I going to do? And then how do I keep this going? But how do I also keep things going on the screen so you guys don't get bored? It's so many different things to consider. So much to learn over time. Let's see, Danzo. Oh yes, those fractions can't be set into book on DRS. Doesn't AMC and BBY have infinite liquidity or something? Tetron is simply speaking our thoughts out loud. It's true, Danzo. That is exactly what I do. Like, you'll hear me sometimes kind of like going down this or talking about that, and I'm like, oh yeah, what about that? Or, oh yeah, that reminds me of this. Or, oh, like, I don't know. I literally just try and speak literally whatever comes to my mind in terms of GameStop, because it's like, yeah, I think, like you said, like, everyone else just has these thoughts too. So that's why I say, like, GME thoughts. And low key, I do kind of regret naming this channel like Tetron Invest. I kind of wish I named it like Tetron Thoughts, right? And low key, maybe I will rebrand one day, but I don't know how that does with the YouTube algorithm. But, like, I'm not out here trying to say, like, invest in this, invest in that, and, like, that's not really ever what I want to do. I want to provide analysis and just information and just thought processing, but I really don't want to be like, invest in this, invest in that. Like, I went to school for, like, a finance degree, but I didn't get, like, any of the tests, right? Like, what are they, like, to become a CFA, your Series 7, right? I haven't done anything like that, right? And personally, I'm just not interested in it at this moment in time, at least. Maybe in the future, if there's a reason to, but number one, coming out of school, like, I just wanted to be done with school. Like, I just wanted to get out there, right? And not to do YouTube, but just to work and just to, like, figure life out, right? Like, I'm just not the biggest fan of school. And I don't know if I ever actually said this, but I actually finished in 3.5 years. Not because I'm a genius or something, but just because I was like, nah, like, I can't do this. And I had done, like, a couple summer classes here and there, a couple winter classes. So as it kind of got close to the time of graduation, I was like, all right, if I do this and this, and I just work really hard, I could probably get done, right? And I was able to finish in 3.5 years. And part of that was also because the summer classes and winter classes were because I was actually a Marshall's manager. Man, that was a grind. I should really tell more stories about that. But, and also because, like, that's a whole different type of, like, retail environment, right? Like, GameStop is, like, retailers, but it's, like, small stores. Like, big stores, like Marshall's, like, it's just craziness, like, and kinds of people, too. Like, I'm sure GameStop employees, shout out to any of you if you're watching this, it's a grind out there, having to deal with people, just saying all kinds of crazy stuff. But Marshall's, let me tell you, there's some crazy stuff there, right? But because of Marshall's, it helped me pay for school and, help me kind of do school and work, and eventually be like, yo, screw this Marshall's thing. I'm going to just finish school and try and get an office job, right? And I'm blessed enough to have done that, and I am at an office job right now. And I'm incredibly blessed, especially having done retail. It's just incredibly mentally exhausting. So I really do salute the GameStop employees, right, that are working in the stores on the ground levels, and how Ryan Cohen made it where they can actually, like, have shares, right? Maybe more so like the managers, not just your average part-time employee, but where they can have vested interest in the company. I think that's amazing for the long term because of what GameStop is building. Maybe the managers won't realize that, and that'll be their loss if they sell their shares, right? But at least they had the opportunity to have skin in the game, and I think that's just a great thing too. That, executives and employees having skin in the game beyond Ryan Cohen, right? We talk about a lot, Ryan Cohen owns a bunch of GameStop, and, he hasn't sold any shares, but look at all the other guys that have come on and now become compensated in shares. They're being compensated in shares as the stock price is falling, right? So in theory, right, their compensation is kind of falling. So you'd have to think they would only do this if they really believed in what they were building and doing in the long term of GameStop. And then, doesn't AMC and BBY have infinite liquidity or something? Kind of. I mean, it seems that way. I mean, I don't know. They just instantly pump them. They just dilute them. Like, it just, I don't know. It's just one of those. You just scratch your chin. You just scratch your head, and you just think like, how is it in a strange way? Do we get the same thing that happens like constantly? The same song and dance, but just in different variations, right? Every once in a while when it comes to like these same bunch of stocks. And like, I just want to show you something here that I'm kind of noticing. And I want to see if like this is just in my head or like this is like really happening. Okay, so this is AMC and GME. This is around the time of Ape, that BS happened. BBBY. And Bitcoin and gold. Also, to quickly clarify about like Bitcoin, I was talking about Palantir a little bit before. Again, I have much more GameStop than any of those positions in any way, and they're very minor, very meaningless. Like I've kind of already had them, with the exception of the Bitcoin, like the dollar every day, which again I can afford to lose $365 a year. I'm going to go ahead and spend that out. Anyway, if Bitcoin does go kapoof, it does go zero one day, whatever, that little bit of money will be nothing. But if it does truly appreciate and have long-term value, then I think it'll be worth a ton. But, it's just a very small amount. And again, I'm not really going to talk on that because I don't have massive Bitcoin knowledge. I just have enough to the point where I feel like, okay, I can own a little position in this. It's worth the risk versus reward in the long term as me as an individual that's young. That's the risk I've now took analysis of. I'm like, all right, I could do this. This is for me, but it's definitely not for everybody. But look at this chart right here, right? Look at this interesting, just correlations in a strange way, like maybe not exactly, but like generally. And even Bitcoin, right? Just so happened when these stocks start running, Bitcoin is just on the move also. Like, and this little drop off, like, this is, I think, the whole FTX blow up, right? This little time period here. And you just have to wonder about the GME, like, tokenized shares. I'll make this line black. Ah, well, I guess because of that. Which GME dark below, so it doesn't even. Well, I guess because technically it trades 24/7. Yeah, I mean, you have to wonder, right? Because the GME tokenized stock, I wonder if that's why the stock dividend happened, right? Because the stock dividend, like, how can you process that possibly at all for like a tokenized stock, right? Like, how would that's just not in the code. And it's not that I think tokenized stocks are legit in any way, but I'm just saying, like, it's, I think, like, really, like, it's hard to prove. Like, well, I'm trying to like formulate what I want to say here. Like, it's already kind of obvious that tokenized stocks are really sus, right? But this is like a little bit clear cut evidence, right? Whereas if you look at underlying under the hood, how could they do a 4-for-1 dividend? Like, that would actually have to happen on the blockchain for the tokenized stock supply to like accurately reflect that. But again, the tokenized stock supply is not actually relative to one share of GME, so it's like, why is that tokenized supply out there? And what did that tokenized supply, what exactly happened to that tokenized supply when the stock dividend happened, right? Because the stock split in the form of a stock dividend, And also, some people say, as Seed and Co, the DTC, literally committed international securities fraud, because you think about all the brokerages worldwide and all their shares, right? Especially in Germany, we saw it. It just was reported as a split, right? That's just how they took it. That's how they did it. They reflected it in everyone's accounts, and it kind of just pushed people, in my opinion at least, to DRS even more. And ultimately, I'm just thinking more and more now with this whole tokenized stock situation. It really, it just, the stock dividend did something. Some functionality behind the scenes, like it pushed things to the brink a little bit more, maybe. Like, I don't know. I'm definitely just like spewing a little bit of nonsense here. Let me check out the chat. Shorts got taken to the cleaners today. I'm up thousands since last week. Good for you, Russ. Because of the Aladdin AI. People told me I was stupid buying BBBY at 160. Well, listen, Russ, if you made money, I'm happy for you, honestly. I didn't buy it. I would have probably said, like, I don't know if I'd touch BBBY right now at 160, but obviously, you're doing well right now, so can't complain. Bitcoin isn't going anywhere anytime soon. The last Bitcoin will be mined in 120 years. Agreed, Morgan. And I think something I look at is, the Bitcoin halving cycle. Every 4 years, the Bitcoins become twice as difficult to mine. And this is at a time period where inflation just keeps going up. And, there's some Bitcoins that are gone forever. And I think Bitcoin's biggest, bull factor for me, or what has my interest in it, is the limited supply that there is. And there's a finite amount. And there's truly no one individual that owns it. The only risk is that, one person or one group of people just come in and buy up like a massive amount of it, right? Then what happens? I don't know. Has that already happened? I don't know. That's probably a risk with it, right? But again, not too massive on Bitcoin, but definitely I think it really has some potential in the long term. Again, risk versus reward. And that's for me as an individual. I remember when I was a young bull. XBit, me too. I remember when hype dates, I used to be like, oh, this day, like maybe I should trade an option, or this day, or that day. And it's like every hype date, just like whatever. It's just an average day, It just stock doesn't do much. Okay, back to holding. I bought in at the 200s. I had a bunch of gunpowder ready to average down when we hit bottom, but now we're suddenly rallying. LOL, still sitting in my ammo. That's how it goes sometimes. Honestly, I think that's one of those things where you take it as like, okay, well, now I just have some extra cash to hold on to for the next opportunity, whether it's in the same stock or even the stock market as a whole. I don't know. That's up for you to determine, but I think it's one of those like, okay, it wasn't meant to be. And honestly, I feel like it's a better way, or I'm finding at least, to accumulate your wealth and just save up extra cash. Whereas you're thinking like, okay, well, I want to invest in this when it gets to be this price. I feel like this is a good entry for me personally, and in terms of where I've already invested or just what I think the asset is worth. So I kind of think when valuation comes down, or when it actually doesn't come down and you keep waiting for it to come down, you're actually saving cash. And then in the meantime, you could be looking for those other opportunities, or when that price point does come that you want, you can be all over it, and at the same time now add extra money to your emergency fund, pay off whatever else you have to pay off. Like, I don't know, it depends on your situation, but really I've kind of discovered, this is about more than just GameStop. A lot of individuals, they've realized like, wait, if I just stop buying lunch every week, like every single day when I go to work, maybe I'll bring lunch half the days now. I can afford an extra GME share each week, right? I can afford an extra 2 GME shares. So I really think what I'm getting at here is that financial literacy is just really important, and just understanding, yourself as an individual and the risks you're comfortable with. And just the greatest common factor, like I said, is that everybody here watching right now likes GameStop. I like GameStop. We're just individuals that like the stock, and then we might have some differences of opinion, whether it's on crypto, other stocks, BBBY, whatever. But at the end of the day, I think the most powerful thing about the whole movement, so to speak, is that individuals just like the stock and are willing to put aside differences and to avoid drama. Went to 16. What were you waiting for? Ryan Cohen tweeted at the bottom. It was a cryptic tweet, but he timed the bottom perfectly. That's a good point. He did, and he is always cryptic. And my number one cryptic point, or number one thing I think he posted that was cryptic, was the purple tie, right? When he did the article where he sat down right before he did the GME DD YouTube interview, right? Right before he did that, he did some sit down interview. I forgot exactly who it was. It might have been Wall Street Journal. I don't even know. But basically, he was wearing a purple tie in the picture. And it's like, this guy never wears a purple tie. He never wears a tie, but he wears a purple tie. To me, the purple is definitely a shout out to ComputerShare. It was a cryptic tweet. Time about it. If you wait for the tweet, it's too late. Tell me sweet lullabies about the VIX. Honestly, I don't even know much about the VIX. It just seems like BS. Like I used to like try and watch it or understand it, but it just seems like, I don't know. I mean, it just seems like nonsense. Like, what really is the VIX? Like a volatility index. There's always volatility. Like, I mean, like, yes, I know there's a technical definition for it, but I just feel like unless you're like trading, it's just another thing out there, right? And it's just kind of a fear factor, so to speak. G-America, yo, G-America, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Need Ryan Cohen to eat some purple donuts on stream, like blueberry frosting is close enough. That would be awesome. That would be hilarious, actually. If you're just like, oh yeah, purple donut, I love this. I bought GME 38 pre-split. I'll send you proof if you want. I've been in the game. Good for you, Russ. I'm happy for you. But yeah, you know what I want to play randomly? I want to play this tonight. I want to play, what is it, Snake.io? Is that what it's called? Yeah, I want to play this. I haven't played this in a minute. You can download this. Player Tetron. Oh, I don't want to download this one. I can just play it in the browser. But yeah, it's a crazy world out there, that is for certain. And what I think we'll see in the next few days is just more media nonsense. And it seems like the more GameStop stock price will rally and the more pressure that needs to be unreleased, right? The more FUD we'll see, the more uncertainty will be pumped out there, and the more interesting things we might see. Like, oh yeah, Ryan Cohen just bought into like Alibaba, right? Will we get other strange buys by Ryan Cohen? Remember when he just had, I don't know what just happened there, how that was good, but you have to wonder at what point, like, what is the breaking point, or would Ryan Cohen ever just buy more shares again? Like, now we dip below his March 2022 buy, right? So considering we dip below his March 2022 buy, you would have to think he's at least thought about averaging down on shares, especially if he was out there buying Alibaba, right? Which, again, we don't even know if that's exactly true, so that's definitely an important factor to consider. But if it is, it's like, okay, well, why didn't he buy GameStop shares? That's definitely a valid question. But, you know, at the end of the day, and you have any doubts or, you know, maybe uncertainties, and you're just reading all that media nonsense and it's just that FUD, right, that it is, number one, stick to your due diligence, and number two, go back to your due diligence and just do more research and just become better, become of better understanding of the company and what they're doing as a whole. And I just think it makes you more confident and holding and just reading whatever nonsense is going on. You can then read it and understand, like, I know that's nonsense because I've read this information elsewhere, or now that I've come to learn this information over time, you know, I gotta get this guy. Yeah, no, it's not a good idea to really play this while streaming. It's extremely hard to play this in. Oh, yeah. Damn. I don't know how people play games and talk. That is like the toughest thing. Like, it is quite the challenge. I feel like I'm honestly rambling a little bit today, guys, so I do apologize for that if that's the case. You remember DCTH Delcat shipping? I don't, honestly. I have to look it up. Ken Dingle, Tetron, love your videos. Literally wearing the same hoodie. Ken, nice, yes sir. It's a fresh hoodie. I was literally in a GameStop store, and I wasn't even planning to get it, and I just saw they had it, and I was like, clearance. I was like, all right, I'll freaking take that. Yeah, this thing's sweet, and it's so comfortable too. I love rocking this thing, and appreciate the love, man. Thank you for checking out the channel. Thank you for subscribing. Let's see. I don't know. This stock does kind of ring a bell. I don't know why. Why is this the image? Almost. I've reached a point where I make money off the volatility and have hundreds of long shares. It doesn't really matter to me anymore. Russ, honestly, that's awesome. That's a great place to be at, where you could just, in anything, right? Where you can sit back, see a lot of commotion, and everybody's trying to figure out what's going on and this and that, and to just have your knowledge and just understanding that, well, you know what? I think this is what I'm doing. I don't care about all the other noise out there. If you have that in some way or another, I think it's just great. And for me personally, how I've achieved that is just, okay, when GameStop stock price is declining, I'm going to set aside this much each week and buy the dip, right? If GameStop stock price isn't declining, I'm good with my position right now. I'm just going to hang on, keep observing what's going on with the company, and just keep doing my research, and just further my due diligence and further my knowledge. So as different things do develop, I'll be like, oh, well, I already have a little bit of background on that. Oh, well, I do remember reading a little on that. It's interesting now the company touched on that more in the earnings call, right? So I just think little things like that continue to happen over time. And over time, as the company continues to do more and more legit things, I think it'll get more and more legit coverage naturally, and inevitably, you know, this whole short interest underlying, and as we know with Archegos, short interest can be suppressed in financial instruments such as equity swaps. If that's all underlying there, and even if you just look at the public short interest relative to DRS shares, insider shares, just the float, it's very obvious, in my opinion, and just the massive constant utilization of shares. Cost of borrow has been high for a while. There's just a high demand for shares, right? And it just seems very obvious that the stock is heavily shorted and held down. And just naturally, as long as the company is operating well, begins to turn a profit, and just not, you know, making poor decisions, not flying around a private jet and just burning tons of corporate dollars on selling and general administrative costs, right? Like they were previous to Ryan Cohen coming in and wiping out the board. Then inevitably, the short interest is just the icing and cherry on top, right? Because you have a delicious cake, you have a well-run company, that's the cake, and then all that short interest, right, is just going to bubble up naturally from the company's success. So I think that's like the ultimate incredible thing about this whole saga, is that like you have a great company that's just being just relentlessly attacked, right, with negative sentiment, and just it's kind of the same song and dance since the very beginning, right? That's kind of the most bizarre part about it all. It's just like the playbook's never changed, just short the stock crazy and just hope individuals don't like the stock in the long term. But now you have a company that's really starting to do big things, or it seems like they're just on the brink of getting to that next level. And you have an options chain like this right here, right? January 2023. That's 2 years since the initial sneeze, since the initial like massive retail interest, which by the way, there was a pretty big amount of retail interest prior to that, which also had a lot of short interest publicly reported, which had a factor in it. But, you know, there's, I think, honestly, in my opinion, a lot less retail interest. I mean, I guess it's hard to say. And I think there's maybe different individuals that were in prior to 2021 that are now, maybe still some of the same. But things are way different now than they were then. And it still seems like the stock is very aggressively shorted, right? And maybe it's not showing up in the public short interest, but it's showing up in a lot of various ways. Cost to borrow is just steadily high. I don't think cost to borrow is a major expense for them. Morant's pointed that out, and doing a little more due diligence on it now, it makes sense. I mean, when you look at how much money they have, I'm pretty sure they can afford to like pay the cost to borrow. But just the fact that it is going up and it is higher, and all their stocks, it's not that high, it tells me there's demand for the shares. There's a reason that number's higher. So there's the demand for the shares. And when you look at utilization constantly being at 100% on Ortex, not that Ortex is the greatest source, but it just shows that the demand is there, right? And when you see weird periods of time where Bed Bath & Beyond has to go up a ton, crypto's pumping in this time period, suddenly Ryan Cohen apparently owns Baba shares, right, whether it's true or not, but just all that has to happen during the same time period where GameStop stock is rising, like you just have to wonder, like, why? Like, how is there always like a crazy amount of like stories going on, all these narratives, right? Whenever GameStop stock price starts to rise, right? Like back here, the last rise we had was, it's going to be parabolic if it goes over 30, right? That was the big story, the big narrative, and it went to 30, right? Literally in a single day, right back down. And a little bit of a volume spike, a little bit of a rollover there, right? Who knows exactly what it was, but there's just always a story, right? There's just always a story with every movement, a story that's being pre-told, and it feels like we're being pre-told a story right now, and seeing crypto just casually having its like best run in like forever. Like, I don't know, just so many spicy things going on right now. Like, I can barely even like put it all together because I just been looking all over the place lately. I'm like, what is going on? What is going on these past like 6 trading days or so, right? 5 trading days, and just also, just life in itself is busy. So like, I'm constantly at work or just wherever, and I'm like, oh, I have a free minute. Like, I got to check what's going on. You got to research, and it's all just crazy. I like calls and puts equally. Damn, Tetron's a legend. Rockets to the moon, you're a legend. Thank you for being here. Yeah, sometimes I just start ranting like that. I don't know. What up, playa? Spencer Martell, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Any idea how many synthetics on GME exist? Danzo, honestly, no idea. I really have no clue. And I don't even try and speculate because, again, like kind of what I said before, where it's like, overall, the company's turning towards profitability. They have a management team I believe in, where it's like they're not just going to go issue a gazillion shares. They're not just going to go ahead and take on debt. They're being well run. They're shifting towards profitability. So inevitably, if that short interest is underlying, and you have tons of individuals, by the way, that just keep DRSing shares, and short sellers want to just keep attacking it. So it's all just inevitable. So to me, it doesn't even matter how many synthetics are out there in theory, because it's like, if they're out there, it's all going to unravel at some point, right? So long as the company succeeds, it will all begin to unravel. So the company does look like it's going to succeed. It's getting close to profitability. If it can make another like big move, right? Web3 was one big move. Maybe the next big move is going to be esports, right? I've kind of been saying that here and there. I don't know exactly how they would get into that, in what way, but I also think, an acquisition's possible. They literally said it on the last earnings call. So it's like all those kinds of things can continue to come together over time, where it's like they can turn a profit, continue to stack cash on their balance sheet. Okay, eventually they can go ahead and buy back shares. Look what Ryan Cohen just did with Alibaba. He went on, and again, we don't know for sure he bought shares, but if he did say to them, like, yeah, you guys should buy back shares and own stock, like he went and bought stock, went to the board and was like, yeah, you guys should buy back shares more aggressively considering how your stock price has been beaten down. And when you look at what Apple's done for a long period of time, buy back shares, right? And we know Ryan Cohen's been invested in Apple, and he's invested in bank stocks as well. That's come out in the past. And what do those stocks do? Or those companies do, rather. They buy back stock, right, to return value to shareholders as well as pay dividends. So inevitably in the long term, it seems like, if this same song and dance is just going to go on forever, Ryan Cohen and the board are just going to continue to build up the company, and I truly believe they'll issue dividends and potentially they'll buy back stock and potentially issue dividends, because it'll just continue to corner the shorts over time. It's going to be, okay, you want to just keep shorting this thing? We're just going to keep succeeding, and it's just going to keep burning you more and more. So that's why, in my eyes now, again, just kind of ranting here, what MOAS is to me now compared to like 2 years ago is completely different. I feel like everybody thought it was just straight up. Now, like, I kind of envision like MOAS like this, right? Like, I have a piece of paper here. Like, just the way we've for so long had this like slow bleed down, just these random blips, right? Like, this is a very elongated scale. I feel like MOAS will just be other way, right? Is that what I wanted? Yeah, just where it's, no, not exactly. That's terrible. But just like a slow, steady rise up, right? Like, that was terrible imagery there. Like, it won't be like this long ride, but you see how he's extended, like, draw down? I just feel like it's going to be an eventual extended draw up. Like, that's just what I kind of feel like MOAS is now, right? Just when the company just truly achieves like profitability and just continues to do the right things, and individuals just continue to like the stock, like, everything will just naturally progress over time. And I think that's what's kind of so beautiful in a way about this saga, is that like everyone kept having hype dates. Or there's a hype date this day, this is going to happen, that day, that, blah, 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 blah. And just at the end of the day, everyone's just like, you know what, I just like the stock. I'm just going to keep holding. And it seems like there's never just going to be one true day. It's just going to be something that kind of just inevitably plays out over time. Like, I don't know. That's just kind of what MOAS is to me now. The mother of all short squeezes is just a long, massive, drawn-out short squeeze. Some say, like, Tesla's run, right? Like, if you look at what happened, obviously, over the past few years, they've done very, very well. And I have all these comparisons on the side. Just get them out of the way. And let's see. Yeah, so this, people say this was a massive short squeeze over time, right? And you would have to think, for the stock to appreciate this much, there has to have been some shorts unraveling in here, right? So I really think GameStop's squeeze, or whatever you want to call it, run up, it might be like this in a way, but look how long this time period was. From trough to peak, or peak to trough, whatever you want to call it, like November of 2021. From when it started running, pretty much November 2019, it's like a 2-year period. So 2 years from now would be January of 2025. And like, look how long, until Tesla went up. Like, not the same kind of things that are going on with GameStop were happening with Tesla, but like the idea of the stock just being shorted a bunch and just kind of like a lot of people hating on it and it just trading sideways for a long time until it just absolutely broke out, and then there's just kind of no stopping it. And I think GameStop will have that same style move, but just on a massive, massive scale, just because of the supply and demand that has to do with so many shares just constantly being put out there into the market, and DRS being discovered as to what it is. And I just think DRS is really like, I don't know if I always forget the term. It's like a silver bullet, or like the bullet, like the kill shot. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, where it's like, when this saga began, if you told shorting hedge funds that individuals that like GameStop are going to start DRSing their shares, withdrawing from the DTC, they've probably been like, what? No way. Like, it's definitely an X factor that I really do not think was considered by anybody as this whole thing went on, until all of a sudden it was like more individuals DRS shares over time, right? And it became more and more relevant. We see the stock dividend happen. We see some shady things going on. I come to understand myself that every single brokerage has a DTC reference number, and when you do a transfer, they do an ACAT transfer. ACAT is through the NSCC. The NSCC, National Securities Clearing Corporation, is owned by the DTC, Depository Trust Company. Depository Trust Company is represented by the name of Seed & Co. So how they constantly move the shares so easily, electronically, is through the name, every single share being in the name of Seed & Co. The only way to get out of it is to book the shares in your name, withdraw them into your name, out of the name of Seed & Co. into your individual name, right? That's what computer share is. That is the ultimate X factor, because even if your shares aren't being used as a borrow, right? Your shares aren't being borrowed in any way, and your broker's telling you, like, I'm not borrowing them, I'm not doing anything, right? The unfortunate thing is, a market maker out there is writing some option, or a shorting hedge fund is taking some naked position saying, well, we could locate a share later because, don't worry, there's a bunch in the name of Seed & Co. from this huge pool here. They are saying, like, no, there's still more shares we can eventually get, But if you counted up, like, how many obligations were on those same few shares, because you have to remember, each shares that are being DRS'd, right, are being withdrawn from the name of Seed & Co. And if more and more shares are being just sold out there to individuals into their brokerage accounts, right, just numbers on a screen, then it's like more, at the same time that's happening, while less and less shares are actually being taken out of the name of Seed & Co., the window's just closing, right? And the amount of people, right, if you consider people to be shares in this scenario, or I should say the door's closing, and the amount of people that have to exit through the door is just getting bigger. And as the door slowly closes, like, let's just say it's like a massive, like, shopping mall, like when you're about to, let's say you're leaving Marshall's, right? The door is closing very, very slowly as more and more individuals DRS. And just at the same time, more and more people are trying to run into this building, right, to get the Black Friday deals or whatever it is. And in this case, the Black Friday deal, I guess, would be the first to cover, the lowest, like, buy to cover point. So, again, I think it's going to be a long period of time, like Tesla. Let's check the chat here. Damn, that's a long tangent there. Any idea how many cents of GME exist? Yeah, it was all from that question. XBit, about 900 million. I mean, it could be more, it could be less. Again, it's really hard to say, but I wouldn't even be surprised at any number at this point. I feel like anything's truly possible considering how long this saga's gone on. God, you sounded like Roaring Kitty. I still go back and watch his old live streams. He inspired a generation of YouTube investors, but he had it right the first time. Thankfully, we are in the infinity squeeze. Diamond D13K, I appreciate you. That is a huge compliment. Thank you. DFV is a legend. I too, once in a while, go back and watch streams. You're kind of making me want to go back and watch one tonight. Because, yeah, he really, kind of inspired me. He's just like a regular dude, he's just working a regular finance job. And that's literally me. I mean, I'm not saying I'm DFV or anything like that. Or I'm not trying to say I'm that guy. Because DFV, he is that guy. Roaring Kitty is that guy. Deep effing value, he's that guy. Me, not so much. But am I an individual that likes GameStop and is also just working in the field of finance and just went to school for it? Yeah. So it's cool to be in the same boat as him in that sense and inspired by him for that reason. But like I said, he's that guy. He really is. Gotta go, but I'll leave the tab open. Thanks for what you do to the community, to the goddamn moon. TRS. Rocket to the moon. I appreciate you. Thank you. Much appreciated. Much love. Denzo. Yeah, esports teams or branding is good. Works to tie with their new type of Web3 gaming. Someone said Cureverse maybe in that vein. That's a very good point, Denzo. Yeah, if they were eventually going to have Cureverse involved in Web3 esports, if GameStop could, I guess what I'm trying to say is tie it all together in some way and then bring teams on, or they could sponsor teams, right? Yeah, I think there is a lot of possibility there to kind of tie it all together. And that's a great point about Cureverse, because that's the game everyone's playing right now. And I tried to look at it today. I didn't realize you need some kind of key or something to play before February. So I was trying to connect my wallet and download it and understand. And I was honestly thinking stream it. I should try and stream some other Web3 games too. I know I said that one time. I was gonna do chess, but I don't know. I feel like that'd be boring. Also, I'm trash. And what's that other one? The card one, Gods Unchained. I was playing that a little bit, but also I'm just again not that good. I don't know if it'd be that entertaining. But yeah, it's crazy. What's happening to Tesla stock, and you do have to wonder if GameStop stock will have a similar type of move to this one, but just on a bigger scale. Because when you see there was 2 stock split dividends for Tesla, and its stock price has been adjusted down very much now. So if you were in the OG days, right, way back here, now it's you literally got in for $1, which is just crazy. Use the damn RSI, says XFit. I should look into more of the technical factors. I'm familiar with I know RSI is relative strength index, and then there's MACD. I forgot exactly what that means. So I'm familiar with some simple stuff, but should have probably become even more so familiar with it. Especially RSI, it does seem like a pretty simple factor here. And, oh yeah, you can do it right here. Check it out. Just for you, XFit, I got you. But this is on a huge scale. Then what was that one, the on-balance volume people used to talk about a lot? I never really understood that. That's one. Oh yeah, that's not. See, I don't really understand what that means, but also people say oh yeah, ever since January 2021. It's always just been ridiculously high, which is interesting, but someone please explain to me exactly what that means. You should collab with Richard Newton. Honestly, that would be awesome. The thing is, I don't know, I feel like that guy is way too smart for me. I watch his videos because he's great, and I don't know, I just feel I would love to collab with Richard Newton or Lightning Warrior or even go on Morant's. Or I'm sure I don't know, I should go on Morant's show one time and just talk. But number one, I don't want to go on their shows or what they're doing and start grifting because they're all bigger than me, as individuals. If they want to swing with me, I'd be happy to. But like, I don't want to be, number one, like grifting off them. And like, I don't know, Marantz has been very good to me, and like, we kind of like go back and forth. So I would first want to like, I guess, collab with him, because also like I've never collabed with anybody. You guys never see me really on here with anybody. Like, I have to like practice talking to someone. Like, I just have a lot to learn. So like, it's a little bit intimidating, to be quite honest with you. So I mean, I definitely wouldn't like rule it out of the question. I would definitely want to. But it just feel a little bit scary, so I definitely want to kind of build myself into that. And maybe I'll, like, honestly, if I don't know if any of you guys would want to come on here, we could just literally have, like, quick convo. Maybe I could do a segment, like, pick a random person each day, like, come on for, like, 5 minutes, and you could, like, be in a Discord or something, and you could just talk, and you'd be on the live stream or something like that. But just kind of warm up to it, for collabs. Bought Tesla at 300 and sold at 1300. Oh, I got to catch up on the chat. I'm way behind. XBit, I actually bought Tesla for my mom in her IRA back in 2017 or 2018, and I sold a lot of it, like on the way up, and I still have a little bit in there, but I'm just blessed I made her a lot of money. I wish I got the opportunity myself and had made money on it, but, live and learn. I'm just happy I made her money. Oh, Marantz is here. I'm on a lunch break. Oh my god, I got so much to catch up on. You're invited whenever you want. The door's open. I'll hold your hand. Alright, Marantz. I gotta come on soon. We gotta make something happen. Okay, Tetron, how many BBBY you got? Russ, I don't have any BBBY. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, I do not. Got 15 shares in Webull. Should I go 100% DRS or keep a few in there? Danzo, that's up to you at the end of the day. Personally, I feel the best about DRS. My only non-DRS shares are my IRA shares, but that's just me personally. Do what you want as an individual. EMA 50, 200, and 500. I'll write that down, because I definitely got to become more familiar with this. Then OBV. Including sneeze is skewed. What's this RSI? Since you're an individual with opinions on the stock, you should voice it to others. That's a good point, Rockets to the Moon. Yeah, but the OBV is messed up across the entire market, kind of telling the House of Cards theory, but waiting on OBV is like waiting out for Wonderland. Tomorrow, just DM and I'll give you my number. Alright, so I'll DM you on YouTube. But thing is, Marantz, it's hard for me during the day, but on my lunch break, I come on for a little bit. Because I'll be in the office. Like, when I'm at home, that's when I can kind of, like, hop on and stuff. But I'll be in the office this week. But when I'm on my lunch break, which usually is when you're on your show, and that's when I can, like, hop in. So I feel like, just for, like, a little segment, that would be pretty cool. But yeah, it's also crazy, like, this journey, guys, like, that I'm on. Like, thank you all for being here. And, like, I literally just talk about, like, GameStop. I just say it, like, every time. But every time I'm, like, doing a live stream, I think to myself, like, I'm going to do a live stream tonight. Like, it's crazy. I'm like, I can't believe I'm doing this. DM on Discord. I could do a night live stream tomorrow. 2 streams. I don't care. Sounds good, Marantz. If you're with it, man, let's do it. We're going to do a collab stream. Alright, so and I just joined the Discord today, by the way. Finally did it, and I finally made a Tetron like profile for Discord because I couldn't even figure out my last one. Hello, brothers and sisters. Ruben, thank you for being here. Hello to you. Marantz, I'm writing this down so I don't forget to DM you. Alright, we're gonna have a good talk. I'm excited. The first official Marantz Tetron collab. Alright. But yeah, crazy. Unbalanced volume, man, literally since January of 2021. And I think I brought this up last stream, but something also just weird, right, is like, why is, what is it? Berkshire B dark pool trading. Or like all of Berkshire B's volume, or Berkshire A. Wait a minute. Berkshire A off exchange. See, yeah, why is Berkshire A volume moved off exchange? See, I love how I spelled it wrong, and that's what made Reddit come up on the top of it. Dang. I did see an actual, is that what it is? That is horribly butchered. Nope. Can't find it. But yeah, basically, let's see what this person said. I just got lit. Yes, sir. XBit. Yes, sir. Berkshire is buying shares back. Can you call them to sell? Oh, well, I guess that makes sense. But you have to wonder, right? And if you extend this chart to now, because I did check it recently, or I should just look at it. Oh, what's the name of it? Where should I put the name? Oh, perfect. So yeah, all of it is like off exchange. And you have to wonder why ever since like January 2021 was so much of the stock like off exchange. Like it's just weird timing. Just so happens to be after that saga that massive amounts of it is off exchange. Like I don't know exactly what it means, and like I don't have any evidence of anything it means, but I just feel like it has to have some correlation and some suppression. And I know Warren Buffett has no problem loaning out shares, so what a great collateral position in some way, right? I mean, I don't know, again, just a little tinfoily hat, but yeah. Damn, I really gotta get the headset thing working out. This is driving me crazy, you guys. You have no idea. Like, I literally found this, and then I've found, I'm like, where did that piece go? And then I was like, when I found this, I thought, why have I not been using this? How did I not remember about this headset? And I literally remembered, I freaking broke this stupid fucking thing. Like, it's mad annoying. And like, literally, I don't know where the stupid piece is, because maybe like, if I could find the piece, like, I could like finesse it in, you know, I could like kind of glue it or something. But damn, it's crazy. And you just have to wonder what's going to happen the rest of this week. Like, it's a short week. It's already Wednesday tomorrow. You know, like, the narrative's being pushed out there, like BBBY, Alibaba, this and that. GameStop is, like, starting to move, you know, for the first time in a really long time. And the options are expiring. You know, everything's just slowly building. But it's one of those things, you know, you just want to keep your long-term viewpoints and just keep your overall conviction and just structure yourself and just overall everything, right? Because there's going to be noise this week. I made a video on that like the other day, and it's always going to be like that, right? And as more and more price action happens on GameStop, it seems like there's going to be more and more noise out there. So I think that's why you have to stick to your conviction, stick to your knowledge, stick to your due diligence, all that good stuff. So no matter what happens this week, you know, just stick to whatever your plan is, whether you're just invested, you know, for the long term. Don't get caught up trading or short-term nonsense. But if you are a trader, you know, stick to your plan at the end of the day, right? I feel like that's what trading's all about. But I wouldn't know because I'm not really a trader and I'm not good at trading, so. But, damn, man. High rollers. No, let's see. Just for kicks. Let's see what's in Wall Street bets. Let's see if there's like a pump, right? Like what I used to do, and I don't even really do it anymore. If people spell it wrong. Because now it's all like just straight garbage usually. But like I would just check and be like, what's like the next push narrative, right? Like this video is funny. I don't know if you guys saw this going around. Like he's just like literally these fake like talking of Jerome Powell, the AI things. But yeah, see stuff like this, like I don't know, the whole BBBY thing, it's just pushed too much for my liking, you know, like it's too perfect how like the narrative's out there, like, oh yeah, like the company's gonna go bankrupt, like we gotta get back at Wall Street, us versus them, you know, like that whole thing, and like I don't know, it seems like they just like Morantz literally said on his stream today, they write negative articles because they know people do the opposite, that if you write this is a terrible investment, everyone's gonna go buy it, like, you know what I mean? Like it's like I don't know, and then yeah, you see you have a BBBY YOLO pop up here with a bunch of options. BBBY again, being memed, no paper hands allowed, BBBY. It's actually pretty fun. Again, BBBY. Right? BBBY. And again, I'm not saying BBBY isn't a bad trade, but it's just a little bit too much orchestrated activity, right? Where I want to show you guys something. This guy on Twitter, like, I don't really like to like be calling people out like that. But this guy is sus. Has BBBY management reached out to us? No. That's true. Exactly. Like, BBBY, like, I don't know. Like, there's just too much to clean up there, right? Like, whereas GameStop had this massive spike, they took advantage of it, like, right at that point in time, to the point where they're able to completely fix their balance sheet and be in good financial standing and just shift the company. BBBY would take a lot of work, and it seemed like to me that Ryan Cohen, you know, he saw the opportunity there, and there was the opportunity. Maybe there still is, but it's just something changed. Somebody didn't agree, right? And the thing is, too, potentially, you know, BBBY's board was corrupt, and maybe there was a good plan, and it was starting to roll out, and then someone in there, like, pushed for something that just kind of, like, screwed over Ryan Cohen's plan, right? But, oh, what is this guy's name? And this is my all-time classic tweet. Oh, what is his name? He's a clown. He's always pumping BBBY. The king of BBBY. What's that guy's name? Somebody help me out here. I don't even want to give this social sentiment by typing it in. What is that? Yes, yes, you knew. XFit, you got me. You literally knew. You literally knew exactly. Cause... Oh, wait, that's what you were saying before. Yes, you literally said it before. What is his name? Cause... Why is it not coming up? Oh, and I have him here. Where's my phone? I'm gonna clown on this guy for a minute, and then I'm gonna talk about the current state of the shares. Yo, it's crazy. It's like this man literally popped in my feed. Do you guys see this? He literally was in my feed as I'm talking about it. Like, look at this nonsense he posts. Like, look at this. I'm looking at my screen. It's live. Yeah. You guys can see it. He's such a freaking clown. BBBY from outside NASDAQ building in Times Square. Don't believe the fake mainstream media. Just wait for Ryan Cohen. Ryan Cohen next move. They are paid by hedge funds who shorted BBBY, and now it's time for the buy. The infinite beyond the mood, $80 and beyond. And he's literally making a video. Like, listen to this. This man is literally, yes, thank you, XFit. Kaj Malij. This guy is like, I don't know. The other thing is too, like, again, I'm not saying BBBY doesn't have a chances to trade, and I'm not trying to trash on you if you have it, right? But like, I can't help but see this, right? I have to pull it up on the screen. This man has a microphone outside of the NASDAQ and is saying, BBBY stock is going up. Like obviously people associate Bed Bath and GameStop now, they're going to think like GameStop shareholders are just like this clown, like because of the forced like association, and now I feel like the association was forced, and then you have a clown like this planted. Okay, let me actually pull him up here instead of just keep talking about him. Cosmolish. And this man, literally so disrespectful, literally sits on top of the bowl. Like, he's so weird. I rode the bull of Wall Street to become a millionaire next week. Do you know how many things this guy has called? Like, I should go back here. Like, look at this. Like, what? He just records warehouses and... Even Fox Business, join the voice of the criminal, blah, blah. And he literally can't stop talking about Ryan Cohen. I was frightened of being arrested. Luckily, I went free to the moon. Because, yeah, bro, look what you're doing. Like, look what this guy is doing, guys.
I'm recording this video from the outside of the NASDAQ,
Take a second to look at this.
building.
Then I'll just tag
Today
everybody
is
today.
Tuesday, January 7th.
Could be, or it could be Ryan Cohen put on the map for us. Just give me a chance to get it cheap. Talking Pillow Company. I'm happy I got level 6 last week before he hit 2, so I might be biased. Cause is hilarious. Yeah, so
17th.
job. Honestly, if you're doing well, and if you got it at that price, you're a little chilling right now, and I don't blame you in any way. And, you know, if Ryan Cohen does do something with Bye Bye Baby, and, did I say Bed Bath Baby just before that? Bye Bye Baby, I think, you know, there's potential there. If there's some grand plan, I believe in it. If Ryan Cohen has it, right? And I would imagine if that acquisition happens in some way, I just realized this guy's talking over me in the background. It's going to be for a good price, and it's going to be for something that benefits GameStop. GameStop is not going to go out there and just like spend all of its cash, right? So if that happens, great. But what I'm just saying here is with this guy, like, Expo, you're right, he's hilarious because he's just such a clown. Like, he's just so dramatic, and he's saying like the most bizarre things, and like, I don't know. To me, it's just like when you have a guy like this out there, like, it just makes everybody look bad. It makes it look like anybody who's invested in GameStop or Bed Bath & Beyond or has a real legitimate thesis on it. You know, this is the guy that's trending. Like, I'm literally giving him a view right now like an idiot. I mean, I want to show you guys, but... And like, he's a YouTube too? No, stop. Again, I'm getting... Oh my god, who's this guy? Like, he's literally...
It is 8:09 p.m. Tuesday, January 16, 2023.
Kaz is the kid in elementary school that always picked his nose and didn't have friends.
And,
Always followed you around and scaring the girls, just wouldn't leave you alone.
So in pain.
It's like so true, yeah. Like where it's like, yo, you're like, Kaz, bro, be cool, be cool. Like, she said, like, she said, bring a homie, you know, and then like you bring him, and then she's like, her and her friend are like, or she sees the picture, like, we 2 seconds, like, actually, we gotta go, and Kendra, Kaz, bro, I told you, be cool. Like, that's so true, Robin, that's so true. I'd invest in Kaz before I'd invest in BBY management. Kaz's dedication, like, BBY management, it's kind of, I mean, it's pretty funny, his dedication, I have to say, like, a sign of God, Teddy Holdings LLC is formed by our 11 master planner, Ryan Cohen. And see, I have a dream. First of the BBY stocks in Germany will not be saved by Martin Luther King holiday in USA. See, like, I mean, I'm not one really to ever say something like this. Or, I don't know, I'll just say, I don't care. Like, this is a little disrespectful. Like, I'm never the type to be like, oh, you can't say that or this or that. But, like, this is just kind of disrespectful to MLK Day. Like, what does Martin Luther King Day have to do with Bed Bath & Beyond? Like, you just have to find something to say about Bed Bath & Beyond, like, you know what I mean? And like, oh, that's what Kramer's hair used to look like. That's actually pretty funny. That's my favorite tweet of his so far. But like, this guy's a clown. Like, he used to say like Bed Bath & Beyond and GameStop are gonna merge. Like, he goes to every place, just throws up the peace sign. This lady back there is like, get me out of this photo. Destroy the credibility of Jim Cramer.
7:15 more.
See, like, also, I get why people trash on Cramer, but, like, I don't know, you don't have to, like, literally just drag him through the mud. I mean, I don't know, people are going to clown on him, and, like, obviously everything that's happened over time. But, just literally this guy. And, like, you have to think, too, like, Cramer just suddenly bad-mouthing, like, Bed Bath again, right? Like, and Anthony Chumchumba, or whatever his name is. I butcher this guy's name every time. It comes out of both of them. They come out of the woodwork every once in a while, right? And then they just start talking about like Bed Bath or something. And it's like during a cycle, like Bed Bath & Beyond, like Ryan Cohen wasn't really like not Ryan Cohen. How could I disrespect him like that, mixing his name up with Jim Cramer? Excuse me. But Jim Cramer, right? He just so happens to talk about BBBY, see? And where is it back here? I don't know. He had a couple other tweets about BBBY. What I'm saying is, like, you have a clown like Kaz out there, right? You have Jim Cramer, Anthony Chumchumba, whatever his name is, start coming out talking about Bed Bath, like getting everybody riled up, like, oh, the short sellers, they're attacking crazy, right? Like, I don't know, it just seems too perfect. Like, they just want all the attention on Bed Bath right now. Oh, and look, here's Alibaba. I guess what I'm getting at is there's still more to happen this week, and probably even next week, and maybe even the next couple weeks, right? It just seems like there's a narrative being built up right now that's beyond what we know so far, right? Like, there's gonna be, I just can't. This guy's such a clown. Such a clown. Look at this boy there, just like, yeah, Bed Bath and Beyond, yeah. Right? Like,
The mainstream
can't get. I just
media.
literally just makes me laugh every time. I can't even keep my train of thought because it's distracting me. But damn it, literally, I don't even know what I was saying. Shout out to you, Kaz. You literally made me forget what I was saying completely. I'm gonna go back to the chat. Agree. If I was Ryan Cohen, we'll definitely make him work for me. We all know Kaz has gone psychotic. The guy has a dream. Jim Cramer Gross. Must say, guy, you put some confidence back in me with videos when I was losing faith. He can't get on the bull. He was having trouble getting on the bull. But yeah, fun fact, I have touched the Wall Street bull's balls before. And they say that's good luck. So, he may have rode the bull, but I touched the bull's balls. So, take that, cause I've touched the bull's balls.
Good evening, guys. This is Guy
16.5K? What does this guy post? Get out of here. No way. Into the microphone. I can't. Alright, he has to have been posting something beforehand. Oh, okay. Excuse me. See, I don't even know what. He's a cloud chaser, is what he is in some way. I literally don't know what any of this means. President J. Trump leaves Trump Tower after winning the presidency. See, he follows events. That's what this guy does. Or he just, I don't know, because he also said something about like Hillary Clinton here, so it seems like he's kind of covering the election. This seems interesting. South Beach, Miami tiger shark. I would want to see that, but I don't want to like give him a view. Or maybe over the stream, but TV, online, Inc. Excuse me. Obama? Okay. The New World Order happening 8 years ago. No comment. Interesting. Alright, cause maybe I shouldn't learn too much about you. You're gonna. Well, this is creepy, actually. I'm starting to be a little. Is that an army deployment in New York City? This was the New York City highway today, 9 years ago. Cause. Touch them tomorrow. Listen, Chop, wish you all the best with PBY, but I'm just saying, I don't know. Kaz, he's just a wacky dude. As you can see, he's got quite a history of videos here. I was wondering, there's gotta be ways this guy's subscribers. He has to have, like, other videos. Still going back. See, it seems like he just does whatever. Like, oh, there's a protest. Like, I'll just go be part of that so I can make a video. Like, it's crazy. All the way to this day. By the way, when I said guy help me not lose confidence, was referring to you. Oh, thank you, Chop. Thank you. No, I appreciate that. Thank you. Take that back. Sorry. I don't know. I thought you meant him. That's what I thought. I'm like, I don't know. This guy's being a little wacky. I mean, he's hyper, but thank you. No, I appreciate that. Repeat Amazon Ryan Cohen will merge with BBBY. The merger, dude. The G-America Fulfillment Center. So also notice, like, this guy used to be, like, for GameStop also. And then notice how it just shifted to, like, only BBBY. And there was a time period in here where he basically said, like, oh, yeah, Ryan Cohen screwed everybody and this and that, so. Are we going to get visited by Big Brother tomorrow? Yo, facts, Ruben. You can never say too much. You can never say too much, or you're getting a knock on the door from Big Brother. Dude, I'm going to have a knock on the door from the state of Arizona. I have 2 outstanding speeding tickets there right now. Yeah, all right, I'm going to get this guy off the screen. He's been on the stream for a minute. Yeah, I have 2 outstanding speeding tickets there that I'm trying to dodge. Hopefully they don't get actually processed to me. But according to the law, they have to legally serve me the ticket. So I'll wait for them to legally serve me the ticket. I'll take my chances. Or they'll have to come all the way from Arizona. It's kind of tough to serve me the ticket. I'm pretty far from there. So I'm going to try and dodge that. But maybe the state of Arizona will come knocking and so will Uncle Sam. No, you're good, Chop. No worries. No worries. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. That's interesting. Someone who hold of music. I'm writing an article on the 2-year anniversary of the meme stock phenomenon. I wanted to speak to someone who had bought AMC or GMA and eventually sold. Would you want to comment from an article? Basically, I wanted to know how many shares did you own and why did you eventually decide to sell? Oh damn, I must have misinterpreted your request. Yeah, I used to hold GME and BBY. I still do, but I used to. I used to too. To be more clear, I did sell all of my meme stocks today, including Amazon, Meta, and Google, so I could basically triple my position in GME and BBY. By the way, there's changing of the guard, a transfer of wealth with a financial revolution happening. Maybe you should cover that. Also, stop working for Yahoo. It's a bad look. Maybe yes, you may use my comment in your article, but only if you use it to its entirety. Savage. That's pretty funny, actually. Ryan Cohen bought Baba. Nobody cares. But one more thing I do want to show you guys, because they do reach out once in a while, right? Like, I don't really check my DMs that much on Twitter because there's just a lot of, like, spam. And, like, with this one, like, here, help me get my tether balance or whatever. Here's how you should trade crypto in a bear market, right? This guy, Dan Luxembourg, author, partnership specialist at Seeking Alpha. I don't really know what his deal was, but I'll read you what he sent to me. This is from December, and I honestly didn't even see it till like a few weeks ago. He sent it to me on December 1st and December 7th. Hi Tetron Invest, I hope you're doing well. My name is Dan and I manage partnerships at Seeking Alpha. I got the chance to watch your video. GME stock update, volume continues to decrease, earnings coming up. I do wonder what I said in that video. I should watch that back. I'm kind of curious. And I found it very interesting and educational. I think your YouTube content fits perfectly with our product and that we would have a great synergy with your audience. If you're open to promotional work, I'd be happy to discuss further affiliate opportunities for your channel and to come up with an amazing deal for you. Best, Dan. If possible, we can move forward via email, and he gave me his email. Hi, Tetron Invest. Hope you're doing well. I wanted to follow up my last email and see if you have any questions. Did he even email me? I didn't see an email. I don't even know if I have my email in my bio, but whatever. As I previously mentioned, I would invite you to join our partnership program. I'd love for a chance for our team to meet with you to discuss affiliate opportunities for educational and promotional content. Feel free to reach back to me. Best, Dan. You know what's weird? He sent those at like 11 a.m. and then 4 a.m. But he's from Seeking Alpha, so I was just sussed, and I'm like, I'm not going to reply to that, number one. And number two, yeah, I feel like whatever I say is going to be spun in some way. And number three, even if it is some kind of partnership or something, I don't know. I'm just deciding ultimately where I want to take my channel one day and whatnot. You know, I don't want to be selling out or like doing all these promotional things early. I have monetization through YouTube. It's not like, I'm not trying to say I'm making like hella bread off YouTube in any way. But what I'm saying is like I'm not gonna go out there and like do all these like deals or something like that, or do some like partner program, like, because I just want to build myself up and like whatever I could create something great out of Tetron, right? Something more than just a guy on YouTube who holds GameStop, right? Eventually, I want to create something amazing. What exactly that is, I don't know, but I'm going to document my journey and whatever that is that I do eventually create. And I hope you're all here with me through that whole journey. So that's, the long term plan of Tetron, but just kind of a little bit of insight there. Gotta catch up. Must say, guy, you put in some comments back into the videos when I was losing faith. Now I know that was for me. Thank you. That's one. Calm the worried. Do it. Tell Seeking Alpha you want to start a GameStop channel with them. Honestly, it's funny. I told like a few different people, and a lot of people I know, like just like coworker or just like friend, right, uncle, stuff like that. Just people I just value like their opinion. A lot of people said like, yeah, like you should, like even if like, you don't like nothing happens with it or whatever, like you might as well like try and you might as well just talk to them. But I'm like, I don't know. Again, like I'm gonna do a stream with Marantz tomorrow, and even for me, like that's a big step. Like I just have like, I don't know, it's just like I'm making excuses. I'm not gonna lie. Literally live right now, I'm making excuses that I have to take these steps and this and that. But it's just like it's about putting in the time and just getting myself organized and like just disciplining myself. It's just so hard to organize and discipline myself because I'm just a young individual. People are always like, yo, no, let's go out, let's have a bunch of beer. Like I'm a huge hockey fan, so I love watching the Devils. I love football. It's playoffs right now, but I'm like, no, like, and also, I work full time, so like I don't just like sit around all day, and like also, I'm reading and watching other videos and just learning things about life and whatnot and trying to spend time with family. But my point is I have to structure myself better so I can continue to allow myself to do the YouTube and continue to grow and do more partners, or not partners necessarily, more like speaking to other people and just become more comfortable with different things. Because clearly I'm doing something right. Like you guys are here, I'm out here doing this, like I'm enjoying this, like you're out here watching, like I appreciate all of you like so much. You have no idea. Do it live. I should. That's the thing. Someone else said to me too, Xbit, a very good point or a very good idea was like, why don't you just say, all right, but it has to be on my channel and it has to be recorded. Would you look at this? Crazy. Wait, what is? It's it's like just crazy. This is my favorite thing going all around. Ride code buys all stocks. So some moral hazard. As effectiveness. Oh, okay. This is interesting. Loss or in place. You follow them. This represents a moral hazard that undermines the deterrent value of the excess capital premium charge. Specifically, these firms may not be deterred from riskier trading practices because they are comfortable with the excess capital premium charges they incur being modified or waived, particularly when the risk of default is greatest. As NSCC officials explained to committee staff, part of the purpose of the excess premium charge is to encourage member firms to reasonable excess capital buffers. In other words, by maintaining an excess capital buffer, individual firms will avoid the application of the excess capital premium charge as a penalty. The effectiveness of this policy and positive result that is designed to achieve could be undermined by what appears to be regular, nearly predictable waiver of excess capital premium charges during periods of acute volatility in the 2 years before the meme stock market event. The existence of repeat offenders may act as signal to other member firms to not take excess capital premium charge as seriously as they should. It is worth noting that the committee reviewed excess capital premium charges as calculated and assembled in a... Excuse me. Okay, I honestly thought that was going to tell me more. But it just tells me it's all craziness. But what is this internet thing, right? I haven't even been on Super Stonka the past day or two. What is this? Let's fix it. Oh, this is interesting. Post from Robbie. And then I think I'm going to check out that post from Robbie and then wrap it up. I feel like I'm kind of burning out here, guys. Alright, I'm sure you guys will see this. Let's see. Let's go. Skill traders dumping their inventory after Valve announces trade lock. Yeah, I gotta read this a lot on my own. It's gonna be difficult to read this entire thing. Oh, let's see. So. Crazy world. I'm just getting caught on Twitter now. But, alright guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up because I could go through this post, but honestly, you could read this yourself. I mean, it's one of those things. I feel like I'm just burned out right now. I can't read this whole thing, digest it, and give you some good analysis on it, like, at this point. So there's no point in, like, just blabbing through the whole thing when you could read it yourself. But yeah, thank you for being here. And, the last thing I'll just finish up on is, just share ownership. When I was just doing the math the other day, based on the DRS count of 71.8 million, just remember that's still 23.6% of all shares outstanding. Then you have insiders collectively owning 16%, right? And Ryan Cohen is about 11.9% of that. And then another 4.1% you have for other insiders, right? And a good amount of it, which I noticed low-key, is former CEO George Sherman. And it's interesting, right? Like, they left on good terms, but he held so much of his stock still. He didn't really sell it, right? So it makes me think, this guy's not even with the company anymore. He's not on the board or anything. But why would he, of all people, still hold, like, a massive amount of stock, So it kind of makes me think he understands the value in what GameStop is building for the long term, even though they mutually parted ways when they brought on, Matt Furlong, and they got rid of George Sherman because obviously they were trying to revamp everything. And the corruption with GameStop previously to Ryan Cohen seemed to be mostly with the board, and I don't think Sherman was actually on the board. I could be wrong. But regardless, he didn't sell his shares, and it's interesting that he has a good amount of those shares, so that was just like a random tidbit there. And again, this is all based on most previous reporting data. Institutional ownership is still around 27%. And then public short interest is still I think 20-something%. But I really take public short interest with a grain of salt because, any institutional shares could be loaned out as like the publicly shorted shares. And then not to mention all the naked shares that are shorted, whether it's through swaps, options contracts, whatever various different ways it's happening. It's happening out there one way or another. At least that's my personal opinion. You're welcome to disagree, but that's kind of the latest on the share count. And the biggest thing with the next earnings report is one, the earnings, just everything they say as a whole, and two, DRS count. What is DRS count looking like, right? I know I have some shares pending DRS right now. I literally just initiated on Friday with Fidelity. So I'm just waiting for those to land. I've been buying them up throughout the dip. Finally, dip kind of stopped dipping. So I'm like, all right, that's a good time to call them up. Let's DRS them. Got my confirmation number. If you are transferring from Fidelity, always do get a confirmation number because that's important. If anything goes wrong, you want to have a number to reference for the transaction that you're initiating, which is the DRS transfer to ComputerShare. Of course, make that your own decision as an individual. I'm never trying to tell you what to do. All these streams, these videos out here, I'm just trying to share my personal thoughts and opinions at the end of the day. Documenting my journey in investing in GameStop and just holding GameStop stock and just building Tetron into hopefully something great one day. But hope you all have a good night. Stay true to yourself. That is true, child. I try my best for that. You gotta stay true to yourself. Jimmy has so many supporters. Fractional shares in Brazil. Yes, don't forget about those Brazilian puts. That's a good point. XBit. Never forget about those. And just, too many glitches. And it's one of those, I don't know. I don't even try and tell people anymore or notify people. I just say I really like GameStop stock and there's some crazy underlying things. Just keep an eye on it. That's usually what I say to people. I'm like, or if I don't have time to get into it, I'm like, I don't have time to get into it, but just keep an eye on it. Something interesting is going to happen sooner than later. That's usually what I kind of say to people now. And I just let people think, like, this guy's wacky. Like, I'm literally known as the GameStop guy in my office, and really nobody exactly knows why. They just know, like, I'm the GameStop guy. But yeah, that's me. So, that's me in the office. But at the end of the day, I just like the stock. Always do your own due diligence, make your own decisions. Thanks for listening to my thoughts today. Hope you have a good night.